Hey, welcome to this new video. Today we'll go over how to downport or retroport this weapon I have here. This is a little complex, but this will be how you would normally do all the retroporting for weapons here. So let's just get started. So the first thing you want to do is download this Keria system or database editor. I will leave a link down below for how to download it and set it up. Everything is down in the description. So what you want to do when you open this tool is amazing for when we need to do edits to the database, since it connects to your database here. So now you can even set up new Chris templates and new items here, and this is the item one we will look at today because we are setting up our own custom sort. So to begin, what we want to do is we want to create a custom item in the server. So first we would like to see here, you can see the entry here is free, so click select, and now we are working on our own custom function own custom item. Let's call this my weapon, and description: this is a tutorial weapon. No, you don't need this, but that's just what I do normally. Next, you would you need the name, but you don't need to write this as a tutorial weapon. You can just write what you want. Class: this is the class of the item. That's 2 because it's a weapon, so select this. Subclass: since we want it to be a sword and we know it's a 2-hand, we set it to a sword 2-hand 8. This display ID, we want to set a display ID later in this video, so let's just select the display ID right now we want to use. That would be 900 and 0001s and let's see 20. So this will be my display ID. So that if you write this too, then it's easier for you to follow along in the video. But you will also, every time you retroport an item, you would need to choose a new ID here for the next weapon you choose, because you can only use the ID once. Next, let's go to quality, and let's just set it as a 5, so orange legendary. Click select. Next, let's see here, material, let's say it's metal, and what I'm choosing right now is just the basics, so it doesn't complain about anything. And then inventory type is a weapon, 2-handed weapon. The inventory type is what slot when you equip it should go to. And since we want it to be a 2-handed weapon, we want to select the number 17. Then you go down here, and there is a bunch of data you can change here. You can even change the allowable class. So if you don't want, like if you click on it here, you can see it's automatically selected the warrior. But if you don't want to select the warrior, you could select only rogues can use this. But for now, I will probably go over in another video how all this works. So let's just focus on retroporting the weapon here. So what you want to do now is that you want to go down to the sheath here, and this is how it will look on the back of your character when he when he sheaths his weapon. Since it's a 2-handed, I want to select the number 1, that is 2-handed weapon, diagonally across the back hunter. Please click enter, select. Now we basically created our weapon. So let's execute here, and it's in the database now. If you want to real quick give it, let's give it some stats real quick. So go down here to the damage. Here, write 5,000, and then I will just write 50,000. like that. You can see it changes here, so it says the damage it will get. And then just say execute again to update this. Now you can basically copy this, because we need this, and you can close it. So now write down the two IDs, so the display ID and the item ID you had in the database. Next up, we will go under here, and we will actually, you saw me already having it here. But what we will do here is that I know the name of this, so I will just tell you what to write down in the folder models. And what you want to write is sort underscore to page underscore drain or crafted. So there is one of them here, but we will go for the what is called, let me see, here it is. Yeah, this is the one. Oh no, sorry. Oh yeah, yes, this is the one. So what we want to do here, oh actually I think this is a different one. Let me see here. Here it is. Yeah, this is the one. I just got confused by the A and B. So what you want to do is click export m2 / wm2o, and make sure that you selected everything over here. So click, and you see it successfully exported it into this folder. So now you can view it in the Explorer, and you can see the weapon files here. Now what we want to do is that we now need to downport it to Wrath of the Lich King version. So let's get started on that. Here are the tools I showed in the last video, and you won't need all of these, but it's always a great idea to have them already. So you won't need this fixed particle stuff for today, or this one, but we will need this, and it's optional to use this for how I do it normally. But let's see here. Let's find the M2 file, drag this over on the fixed TX ID, and now you can see here it saw that it's hard coded in this armor reflect. This is the reflection texture, but it's missing the normal texture. So now we know we need to hard code this in. So let's click here. Now we did that. Now we need to convert it into Wrath of the Lich King. So drag it over here, click on it, and click fix. Wait for the green bar to go up, and you can click clear, and you'll click exit. Now we converted it. Next, double click or open it in 0.10 editor. I will show you how you would open it in 0.10 editor normally. So open 0.10 editor. Up here, say open file. And here we would find, give me a second. Here you will find the folder. Copy paste. So now we are in the folder here, and we find the M2 file, and we click open. Now we opened the M2 file, and you can see here that it's Wrath of the Lich King. This means that the conversion worked and it's correct. Okay, so now let's scroll down here till we find the one called textures. Click on it, and now you can see all the textures for the weapon. As we saw inside the fixed TX ID, that the armor reflect here is hard coded already in, so it knows where this file is located. But as you see here, the object skin doesn't have any reference to or file for the skin. So what we need to do is we need to hard code this in, and here it's not that hard to hard code it in when you first know how to do it. And it's different from weapon to weapon, how hard or how many things you need to hard code. So let's go down. So if you scroll up here, if you scroll down and then you copy 4 null bytes, so select 4 of the zeros here, click here, click Control V to paste it, and you need to do this because you need 0 bytes for the client to understand that it shouldn't read this part. So now what you want to do is you need to go into your folder here, the weapon folder. And we can see here, this is our BLP file. And this file is the skin that it's needing. So what you would do is that you copy up here. Copy this. So copy from the item / object component / weapon. Paste it in here. And then you would need to go over here, take like the / here and set it here. And now you will go back into your folder. You will click, so you select this name, Control C, go back right after the /, Control V. And then you need to do this. You need to type .blp. And a good suggestion here is always when you're done with putting it in, always give it like 4 bytes. 4 null bytes, yeah? Just so the program doesn't complain. Next, you copy from the I. You copy, so drag your mouse and copy all the way down here. Can also start from the P if you want, but always start up here. Like that. Now go down to the location my mouse is. At the bottom of the screen here. You'll see where it says start. Start. You see a few numbers here. And this is an address we would need to copy. And we see this SEL 61. Remember the 61, that's the length of the selection. So you need to remember 61. And you need to click where it says start. You need to click here. Click copy position. Now we copied that. Remember 61. Go here in our object script. At the file name length, we would write 61 because that's what it's set down there. Now, click here, click Control V to copy or to paste in what you copied. Then double click here at the address, click Control X to cut it. Then mark or select all this and click Control V to paste in the address. And now you can click out of it like that. The last thing we need to do before saving is clicking F5. And now you will see here it loaded off our new texture perfectly. Now you can click Control S and it's saved. You are now done with hardcoding the model. Next thing is that we actually need to make it so it works inside our client. So I will go to my client here. Then I will go into data and my patch. Then I will go in here into my DBC files. If you don't have, this is because I have my own patch set up. So what you can do is you can go into your server and then the data and DBC files and take these two, the item and item display info, out of that file and into your own patch file. So now what you want to do is that you open up the item, click load, and you open up the item display info, click load. This will take some time. Okay, so now we have them open in WDBX editor. And this is the item DBC we are in. Scroll down. And And we see here, this is because I already have a few items in here. So what we want to do is we can click on this one to show you how it works. So click on it, right click, click copy line, then click on the new one, control and paste line. Now we pasted the line. Here, this is the ID for what we wrote inside the database when we created the new item. And this needs to match. So if this doesn't match, it will give you problems, just saying. Next, we want to make sure all of these values match what is in the database too. So what we would do is actually open this program again to check the database real quick so we know it's correct. So let's go into items here, and then let's see, let's search for the ID of our item. Here we are. Now what you want to do is that on class we want to set it to 2, as you can see here. Subclass is 8, and this one is -1. Material was 1, as you can see here. The display info is this number, so we would copy this, put it into the display info here. Inventory type was 17, and the next thing is that, oh, I see I by mistake added a new line. Oops. Let me just delete this one. Delete line. So here, yeah, let me just real quick go back to where I was. So display ID would be the the display ID would be this, the one you set in to your database. You would put it here, and then you would say this would be 17, and the CF type was what it was 1. So let's say 1 here. So now we added this item in, so the client knows there is an item with this ID. Next, go into double click on your item display info, and it will open this folder, or this file, sorry. Now, what you want to do is you create a new line. So I will just again copy, so find up here, go up and find like a knife or something. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what you find, but it's always a good idea to find like the weapon type you're working with. So let's see here. Let's see. Let's find something real quick. Are there any two-handed up here somewhere? That's a polearm. Yeah, let's take this polearm. So go here. So you select it. Right click and say copy line. Now go to the bottom again. Here. And you say insert line. Oh no, sorry, not insert. Paste line. And now you have it here. What you now want to do is that I'm just deleting this line because that's from before I tested some stuff. So here, what you want to do now is that you want to go into your folder again, the weapons folder where we have it. Now you want to copy this name of the file. This is the name of the M2 file. You put it here and say .mdx, and if you don't do that, you will have errors. So remember the .mdx. Next is the texture, and this is the texture it will use. And that was this one. This was the one we hard-coded into the model. And here you don't need to write .blp, so you can just keep it as is. And over here, this is the inventory item icon. So we can just copy the sword one, or let's actually just keep the staff one. It doesn't really matter. It's just, you know, you can have it that way. Next, I will set these because some models this is can be finicky. So what you need to do is sometimes I know this model will probably want me to have these set. Some models are different and don't mind these being 0. There is just a lot of trial and error, let's say like that, on how you do stuff with the models, depending on how they are set up and everything. Just so everyone knows. Now we can Control S and save it. And now we are actually done with the file. So now we can close it. And the next thing is now we need to move this into our patch folder. So what we do now is that we take this. So actually a better way to do it is we go in here, we go back to our data folder, we go into our patch folder, and you can just create a patch named patchset.mpq. Here, now we are inside of patch, and if you change the files inside your server, DBC, you will need to move them into a folder called exactly db files client. So the item and item display info is here. Otherwise your client won't know there is an item called that. After that, go back here. And what you would do here is since WoW exports your weapons and creatures and armor into the correct format, or not format, sorry, the correct folder structure, you can actually, because we know that we only have this weapon in here, you can actually just copy this whole folder called item into here and drag it, and you can see I have it already in my server, or sorry, client. So I'll just say replace the files in the destination. Now you can see we have it here, and we have it under the weapon. And I have a few other weapons here, but I will find it real quick. So it's right here. You can see we have all the files here. So what we want to do now is we want to actually go into our server. So I will start my server real quick. And it's running. And then I will minimize here and close this and close this. And now I will open WoW. And I will click OK. And now you will see that I don't have, this was the old weapon I just deleted from the DBC, but let's add the new one we just created. So write .add item, and then what you want to do is you want to write the number, so the ID you gave it. And now we just added our new weapon here. So my weapon, this is a tutorial weapon. If you right click on it, you should see it pop up. And I actually see that it doesn't show up right now. So I might have done something wrong inside the DBC. So that's a great thing for me to show you how this would happen if you don't do it correctly. So let's go out again here. Let's delete it. Let's shut down the client. And let's jump in and figure out where we go wrong. What we want to do is go back to our DBC files here, open up the item display info, and I will have a look real quick what I did wrong. So let me see here. Yeah, I did the modeling correctly. I did the texture correct. This is what I mean by some items are different in the way they are working, and some aren't. So some work and some doesn't. Oh, I see what I did wrong. This ID doesn't match. So already here you can see I also sometimes mess up. So this ID again doesn't match the one we have in the database. So I would need to rename it to that ID and save it. And now let me just real quick check the item DBC. So you can see here if, so we will just check if this matches. Now it matches. Great. Now you can close the DBC editor again. And we want to close the server and we click start the world server. Now it starts up the world server for us and we can open WoW again. I already had it open. Great. Here. And we click enter or log in. And we go in on our character. And now you will see we were at item 9000 run, and we get our item. And now I should be able to, no, still not. Okay, so let me just real quick check what I'm doing wrong here. I'll be back and explain what I'm doing wrong. And I'm back, and I'm sorry about that. I figured it out. I just forgot that for some reason the item display info can't handle higher numbers than a 5 like character long or 5 long number. So you can't do like this. It can be maximum, it can be like this is the highest it can go. You can't do this. You can't go over that and then. So let me just get that back. So like this. So now I have it here. So because I already have one here called with this ID, I would need to go in here, copy this. So copy your ID of the item, then go back into your item DBC, go to the bottom here. In here you can, it's allowed to have them at this length. That's okay. So here you would set this ID here to be that. Okay, great. So now we need to go into the database editor again. And here you would need to set the display ID to be the same as we just set. So my display ID is that, as you see here, 90022. And I don't need to execute it because I already updated it. So now you can go in and you can start server. Oh, I already had the, I still have the server. So here, restart the server. And now, let me open up my client and click login. Oh, login. And we click enter world. And now let's try adding my item. Was it? I think, yeah, that's the ID. And we see that our item has the correct icon. So right click on it. And now you see we have the item on us. And that is how you downport weapons from other expansions. Some weapons might be more complicated. And I'm sorry for messing up and stuff, but there is just so many different ways these DBC files work that I sometimes even forget it myself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider leaving a like and a subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. See ya.